I mean, she's also not wrong when she says this. Like, I'm not defending Karen Bass. Okay. I have already criticized Karen Bass on areas where it is worthy of criticism. Okay. But she's also not wrong as far as like water hydrants having to deal with wildfires, especially when there's 100-mile winds carrying ember everywhere. You're not going to be able to deal with that with water hydrants.
Governor, I live here, Governor. That was my daughter's school, Governor. Please tell me what you're going to do. I'm not going to hurt him, I promise.
I'm literally talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your call?
Okay. All right. Let's hear what Fox News has to say. Let's hear what Brian Kilmeade has to say.
Is it going to be different next time?
It has to be. Has to be. Of course.
Did you hear at the beginning of that soundbite? He said, I'm literally talking to the president right now.
He lied.
He just told that woman.
I'm glad that these guys are focusing on the important stuff. I'm glad. No, leave it up to Fox News to really nail the important parts of this story here, okay?
That woman is talking about that's her kid's school. They've lost everything at the school. The school is gone. And she is in distress. And what does he do? He lies to her.
Just flat out lies.
How many people has he lied to this week?
He lies all the time. That's the whole thing with him. And when you look at, Brian is so right about all of these progressive states and cities. You even go all the way to New Orleans and see what the mayor did. You don't know the different assets that you have to protect the sidewalk. That's what's happening in California. And the Republicans have to take this moment as an opportunity to show effectiveness. I think Ron DeSantis, the governor of Virginia, should go to California.
Governor Beshear of Kentucky.
And show them how it's done. Bring your resources there. We heard the president of the United States talking about generators. Why didn't y'all have generators already staged if you need them? The military planes, okay? Brian brought up an interesting point yesterday about them flying through the smoke. They're just now getting the military planes there. Why didn't y'all have those pre-staged? And then Ainsley, we can't leave out that the mayor wasn't there.
Well, exactly. And all these celebrities are now speaking out. That lady, that frustrated lady was on with Jesse last night. And Jason Bateman's sister, what's her first name? Justine Bateman was on, and she was so frustrated too. And this is James Wood. Because remember, President Biden said he blamed this on climate change. James Wood says this fire is not from climate change.
Bro, I hate this country sometimes, yo. I swear to God, bro. We gotta do re-education camps for Republicans in general. I swear to God, bro. James Woods will literally cry real tears while watching his multi-billion-dollar home engulf in flames and be like, how can I use this as an opportunity to do propaganda for the fossil fuel corporations, dude? What a psychotic way to approach life. Like, that is crazy, bro. That is actually insane. And I think at this point, like, we have arrived at a situation where, like, no change is going to happen, no systemic critiques necessary. So we might as well just, like, hyper-focus on our pet issues. Okay? Like, I saw a tweet from like, specifically, I think, like, a fire ecologist from UCLA. Okay? This is his job. Okay? He researches climate change and its impact on the likelihood of causing wildfires, okay? And the guy was saying, like, it's insane to look outside my window as I see the wildfires grow, as I'm currently packing up to evacuate because the wildfires might have the capacity to reach where I live, and I'm fielding phone calls from every mainstream institution to repeat the point for the 100,000th time that climate change is the leading cause for these wildfires. And no one cares. It is so insane that scientists are just always talking about what the major factors are here. Okay? And no one cares. we're just like, nah, you're wrong. It's because of DEI. Nah, you're wrong. It's because of arsonists, actually. It's because the fireman was gay or the firewoman. Yuck. I don't know what we do here. Like, I just don't know. It's because, like, you can have a dude whose house is on fire and he'll turn around and be like, well, this is a great opportunity to talk about how woke and gay caused this. Actually, do not say it's climate change.
Ignorant blank hole. It's because liberal.
Please mention PG&E one time for the love of God. I have, and this is everybody yelled at me when I said PG&E works in Southern California and corrected me and told me that PG&E California and that it is SoCal Edison or LADWP.
Idiots like you elect liberal idiots like Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass. One doesn't understand the first thing about fire management, and the other can't fill the water reserves.
Well,
reservoirs.
Across the board, there's been a failure to figure out, to pre-plan, to pre-position. Karen Bass, the mayor out there, she declared a state of emergency, and then she flew to Ghana. And it's like, okay, there's going to be something.
17 hours.
There's going to be something that's going to change the arc of this city forever. And what is she at? She's at a ceremonial inauguration. From start to finish, all the way from the local neighborhoods right up to the top guy, Joe.
RDC made a video about this. Oh, yeah, this is funny.
Movie more confusing.
All right, guys, people are dying right now. There's like toxins in the air, pollution. People are talking. We need y'all help right now.
Oh my God.
It wasn't that shooter.
And
was
the
standing
monkey.
up there.
I was so
what are y'all talking about? Hey, I just said people are dying right now.
Like there's red particles falling from the sky.
Yes.
And like people are just like falling over.
Exactly. Right.
Oh, that's early.
Yeah,
that is pretty early. I thought it would have like 45 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah,
45. 45. What are y'all talking about? My family's dying right now. Come on, please.
He said it. That's why he cares.
No, they only care about theirs.
You didn't read that article in 1999 where it said if we don't stop doing it to the climate, people are gonna die?
I mean, no,
I gotta print it out right here. Read it now. Read it now. What about his from 2005? What about his from 2015? And then we wrote a whole book. We wasted our time in 2022.
What the fuck?
Y'all didn't read none of that, huh?
Hey, I'm not.
Yeah, it's too late now. You know when you can help? You know when you can help? In 1999 when I wrote the article, the footprint too big. No, ozone layer's being depleted. Sorry, guys. The ice caps are gone, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, there's no more animals.
No.
Oceans are gone.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys f***ed up this time.
You know the sky is red.
Oh, actually, no lie. I have a plan.
What?
Yeah, cool.
We made these masks.
Yeah,
we now we're fighting wars. We made these masks for us and our family, but y'all didn't fund them, so we did it with our own money. This is all we can make.
Okay, we'll give y'all some more money.
We'll take that. So give it to us in about 10 minutes and we'll them.
Okay.
But too much, y'all gonna be dead in like 4 seconds.
4 seconds? What are you talking
Yeah, because the toxins are coming through.
Okay, give us the mask. Give us the mask. Come on.
Hey, those gloves that y'all making at the last second, those were good, man. Good shit.
Give us the mask.
It's above us. It's above us, guys. Watch that again. Watch it again. Hey, there's nobody at the movies, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. It's finally a peaceful movie experience. It's just like, it's crazy because no one wants to address it even at this point where it's like directly happening. Okay. It's happening right now. And they're still like, no, it's actually the thing that I care about that is responsible for this fire somehow. No matter how strange, no matter how insane, it doesn't matter. Like Libs of TikTok hates gay people, right? Hates queer people. She has spent the last couple of days talking about how the lesbian fire chief is responsible for this. It don't matter. Just as long as you don't say it's climate change, you can get away with saying whatever you want.
Joe Biden, they got to figure out what went wrong. The mayor does not like being pressed. Why wasn't there water? Why didn't you pre-plan? Why'd you cut the budget? There's a little bit of what went on yesterday out in the City of Angels that was angry at her.
We're almost 48 hours after this fire started. There's not resources up there. The hydrants aren't working. Where's the National Guard? Where are miles and miles of water tenders? How are we addressing this?
Well,
your reaction?
First of all, you asked me, was I frustrated by this? Of course, because we all know that this has been an unprecedented event. We also know that fire hydrants are not constructed to deal with this type of massive devastation, and that the number one...
I mean, she's also not wrong when she says this. Like, I'm not defending Karen Bass. Okay. I have already criticized Karen Bass on areas where it is worthy of criticism. Okay. But she's also not wrong as far as like water hydrants having to deal with wildfires, especially when there's 100-mile winds carrying ember everywhere. You're not going to be able to deal with that with water hydrants.
One problem, especially on Wednesday, was the fact that we...
Yeah, but why aren't they? Would be the correct response to that. What do you mean, why aren't they? A water hydrant is there for structural fires that happen in that city block, okay? A water hydrant is not there for wildfires. If that was the case, they would build wildfire prevention water hydrants all around the forest. That's not how you do. That's a structural fire. A water hydrant is created for structural fire. Okay, you can't deal with like massive wildfires with water hydrants. It's like using a water pistol, trying to shoot the wildfire with a water pistol.
We weren't able to do the
bomb the fire. They did. And actually, that is a successful way to stop the wildfire. They bomb it with water. That is literally what they do. Some places have straight up like loiter munition style water bombs that they drop. That's not even a joke. That's a real that's what they're doing. It's actually very successful. One might even make the argument, this is crazy, but one might make the argument that even blowing up the fire with like explosive munitions could potentially work in stopping the fire. Because the sucks out the oxygen, so it would suffocate the fire in its entirety. Yeah, nuke the fire. That's so stupid, Lemafeo. No, it's not stupid. Nah, the heat would reignite the fuel. I'm a civil engineer. You're correct. Hydrants aren't magical water hotspots. They're just surface ports of fire water lines. It's impossible to build a fire water line in a network in a forest. But it's not just in a forest either. It's like it's 100-mile winds coming in. You can like try to save as many structures as you possibly can with water hydrants, but like. At a certain point, you know, water bombing.
Now, right down here in the...
I think this is the Super Scooper plane grounded after hitting civilian drone while fighting in Los Angeles.
The Super Scooper right there. These are airplanes that are on loan. We actually leased them from Canada during fire season. Well, we understand that Super Scooper was hit by a drone while flying in the Palisades fire this afternoon. We're told the plane is expected to be able to fly again tomorrow. That's very good news because typically we only have 2 of these.
I fought fires for 7 years in Canada. I didn't even realize you didn't have these. No, we do. We do. They also sent them, obviously, from Quebec and other places as well, because there was a need for additional planes like this. And one of them got hit by a drone. My province, with 1 million people, has 6 of these water bombers. I assume you guys will have a bunch too. I guess not.
Crews out there have the drone that hit the plane. The FAA wants to remind people it's a federal crime to interfere with firefighters and their operations. And if flying a drone near wildfires is not only dangerous, it's not recommended, it's illegal. This aircraft, as I said, once again expected to fly tomorrow. We can tell you David Bigger is with us right now. You not only are a pilot, but you know a lot about this. The whole drone situation being up over the area.
Well, yeah. So the
why don't we have more of these? I don't know. Maybe because we have a lot of planes. It's just planes that drop not water bombs but bombs. I heard LA only has 2 water scoopers available. Is that true? Because the Pentagon just announced that they want to purchase 150 B-21 Raider stealth bombers. So I'm trying to understand the relative ratio. I'm not saying anything, but you know. It seems like we have a much better use of federal funds and local funds as well in terms of helicopters, for example. They can't build these planes up here north fast enough for the demand. Do you think the political capital impact of the fires will be a major topic for Trump's first year? The U.S. only has 10 Super Scoopers. Canada has 64. Okay, well, guess what, dude? How many fighter jets are you guys giving to Israel or Saudi Arabia or Egypt? Or any number of our security partners. Excuse me. That's right. That's right. Guess what, dude? Other countries need. Yeah. Also, U.S. about to have 74 when we annex Canada is so funny because we're going to take over Canada and then we're going to also eliminate their Eliminate their super scoopers. We're gonna be like, nah, you don't need them. We need to use all of your productive forces to make our own more bomber jets.
The thing is, as soon as fires start breaking out, one of the first things that they start coordinating at the FAA is putting up a flight restriction. There's a flight restriction over the entire Palisades fire from the surface up to 7,000 feet. Now, most drones aren't allowed to be operating above 400 feet anyways, so anywhere within that area, not allowed. Part of the concern that always exists for firefighting aircraft is they're flying pretty low. They're doing a lot of water drops and retardant drops. And if a drone, let's just say, was sitting at 400 feet or something like that, some people do fly higher than that, which is not allowed. But if a drone is at 400 feet and they're going in to try to make some sort of precision water drop, they can end up striking that. That's always the concern. And in previous fires, we've had instances where a drone gets spotted and all the air attack aircraft get told, okay, everybody back off for a minute. We're going to see if that drone is still there, because it is a threat to the aircraft. They got probably pretty lucky that it hit the nose of the aircraft and not any of the engines or anything like that.
Well, yeah, you look at fixed wing there, and then you think about the choppers. They're all rotors. If a drone was to get clipped with one of those rotors or go into the rotors, I mean, it could be catastrophic.
Yeah, so the thing.
California has a pretty substantial firefighting force, but certain aircraft are better suited for certain geographies. The CL-415 is actually becoming less efficient, and helicopters and smaller water bombers are able to do more and more accurate drops per hour. Yeah, I'm reminded of that one heli drop. That was so sick. There's been a couple, like, incredible helicopter water drops that I've seen, at least, that are phenomenal. Or they just go boom, drop it right on the money, and you're like, oh, I must feel good. Is the cost/availability of pilots? Pilots must retire by a certain age, and airlines pay way more. It's not just the military complex. Whenever people say, oh, it's just not availability of labor, that is an incredibly easy problem to solve. It's called money. You just also admitted it. You're saying that commercial airliners pay more for the pilots than federally funded wildfire prevention groups can. And okay, yeah, just, you know, make the wages more competitive. That's it. Yo, this was crazy. Look at this one. This one was amazing.
And I understand that you have another structure burning behind you.
Boom.
Do we have Chelsea?
Amazing. Or you can do the other thing. Sentence more people to prison. And then that way you can have more free labor, and then make them fly the planes at gunpoint. Train them and then make them fly the planes at gunpoint. I think that's I really like that solution, actually. We should do that instead.
Air support because of the winds. And so, of course, I am absolutely frustrated by that. I am not sure that is correct, that there are no resources up there, but rest assured, as soon as we are done here, I will follow up on that.
I will say this. I'm wondering how many how many flights were grounded because President Biden was going to Los Angeles to visit his great-granddaughter. So that has to be investigated, too. Did you clear out the airspace that could have been used? How did the president get in?
Here's the thing, too. We learned a lot after Katrina, right?
Yeah, we did.
When you had that hurricane that went into North Carolina, no one was expecting that. But in California, you do expect wildfires. Right. They happen all the time. So when you're the mayor, you would think you would have.
Yeah, what about Florida? What about the hurricanes in Florida? Because I didn't see you guys complaining about Ron DeSantis, interestingly enough. I don't know.
The proper tanks, the tanks would be filled to the brim. They're saying they were, but are they? Were they?
They didn't have enough.
And they didn't have enough, so you build more. It's just like what happens in New Orleans. After the hurricane came through, they built up the levees.
By the way, in 20 minutes, I'm going to be talking to Sean O'Brien of the Teamsters for a little bit. We're going to do a 30-minute slot where we talk about labor unions under Donald Trump and a bunch of other stuff, unionization efforts that are all going on all around the country. I'll also field some questions from the chat as well. Hopefully you guys won't be super annoying about it. I have some questions from Alex Press as well to direct his way. And then after that, we have so much more to talk about aside from the labor union conversations. Some people expected what happened in WNC. They're called weathermen. The forecast called for catastrophic flooding and landslides, yet there was a failure to take it seriously and do something. The podcast with me and him is going to come out on the 15th. It's the first episode. wrong. I'm going to be a whiny little purist, and I bet everyone else is too. Hell yeah.
System, they fixed it.
Well,
they
she also said that the hydrants weren't properly staged in a way that could sustain a fire like this. You're in California. Why wouldn't you have that universally in the state if you're at risk? Right. I know that this is different from LA. They haven't experienced anything like this in LA before. But there's always the risk, which is why the people try to get the insurance as a result of that.
But yet we can name 4 major fires right in that area.
100%.
So you can't tell me. Here's one question. When you have your emergency management meetings, you're all wearing your windbreakers. If there's a fire that goes through 5 counties, would we be able to fight it? And if the answer, obviously, is no, and that's not good enough.
Now, the police chief there tried to give her some cover in the press conference, but there's a memo of the police chief at the time saying, look, this is going to hurt us. We don't have the proper resources. Guys.
Police chief? Does he mean fire chief? Have y'all tried calling in Clifford the big red dog to put out the fires as a thought? Yeah.
We've heard some reports from firemen. Let's take the water out of it. Firemen didn't even have the proper equipment. How does that happen? How do you explain that firemen didn't have the proper equipment?
Their budget was cut.
Yeah,
$17 million.
The owner of the LA Times, historically a left-leaning newspaper, wrote on X last night, fires in LA are sadly no surprise, yet the mayor led the LA Fire Department, cut the LA Fire Department budget by $23 million. Okay, so when we think, if there are budget cuts, what do you think? Okay, not as many trucks? No, it's across the board. They can't afford to hire enough mechanics. They've got yards full of fire trucks and fire engines that cannot leave the field because they don't work. They need mechanics. It's from start to finish. And what have we heard from California? You know, from this couch, we have reported about all the crazy, super liberal policies over the last couple of decades. And over the last couple of months since the election, what has California been doing? They've been trying to Trump-proof California. You know what? They should have fireproofed it. And what they should have done is they should have planned for a really big fire because it happened this week.
They're focused on these DEI recruitment videos that focus on that when they should have been focusing on the things to keep people safe.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian.
Oh, my God. The California mom that intercepted Gavin went on Fox News. Oh, my God. Oh, my. I'm not even going to watch this. Okay. Oh, my God. Every once in a while, conservative media latches onto a story that leans left/populist, and it's always just surface level. They don't dig deeper, lol. Yeah, obviously. Their job is to